Okay.
Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get started with our fundraising 1 and 2 badge. I got to be honest with you, these are a little bit more difficult badges. I'm not sure if we're going to get to both of them. Alright, as you're in class, if you need to, if I'm talking or something, please feel free to play the good dog game. Basically what that means is anything that your dog does that is good, you can click and treat. If it's a sit, if it's a paying attention to you, if it's a down, whatever you like. So as I'm talking, try to keep your dogs motivated towards you. And I think Ember is motivated towards Teresa. Alright, I always like to try to start classes if we have them. We have several people getting badges today. If I could ask if I could ask Judith and Apple to come up. Judith has actually been working really hard. She's actually earned several badges with Apple. They have the band badge, which is right there. Congratulations. You have the shaping badge. You also have the cleanup and weeding badges, which are both community service. And you do also have earned the hospital badge, so I'd like to let everybody know that. But that one, I guess they didn't have in stock, so they're going to, as soon as they have them, they'll go ahead and ship them out. Congratulations. Yay! Seeing as MFP, Mary Francis is standing up. If you'd like to come up with Bailey.
I'll ask them. Do you want to go up here?
Congratulations, you guys earned the Obstacle 1 badge. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey Beth, if you could come up. Now, Beth and Roxy have actually earned several other badges, but we don't have those in yet. But your agility badge came in. Congratulations. That's your Obstacle 1 badge. Congratulations. Alright guys, thanks. Everybody, round of applause. That's Ember's way of applauding too. Okay, stop. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I am taking this out a little bit out of order because I think the fundraiser 2 badge, I think personally, and it could be wrong, it could be the other way for you guys, I think the fundraising 2 badge is a little bit easier. And I think we can get several dogs trained, and so we can actually start using this in a lot of our things that we do. On the fundraising 2, what we're actually teaching our dogs is to actually go out and you say, hey, my dog can get money. Who wants to give us some money and watch my dog fetch? And that person's going to hold out some money. We're going to send our dog out. The dog takes that money from that person, brings it back, and puts it in a bowl. Okay? So it's kind of a really cool thing to do. That's only one part of it, though. We'll get into the different parts as we go through this. All right? But I want to give you guys a little bit of heads up on what you have to do to earn the badge. The dog has to be comfortable handling, taking, and delivering actual paper currency. Okay? And the dog will put the currency in various containers on cue. So that's basically what we're going to be doing. That's the dog requirement. The human requirements is the handler understands the concept of operant conditioning and shaping. Every one of you guys in here have been in one of my clicker classes, and I know you guys all know how to click, and we've gone through this many times. Then the handler has to taught the dog to take the item gently without danger of hurting that person. So I have to be a little bit careful with Ember, just to give you a heads up, because Ember loves to go out and basically pounce on stuff. So I actually have to make sure I teach her to take it gently. And that part's a little bit more of a challenge for me. So it has to be for that safety part. We're going to be using money. You can use bills and change, but in this case we're going to start with paper. That way in case the dog rips it, guess what? It's not so bad if they rip a piece of paper versus ripping a dollar bill. So we're going to kind of start with that. Does anybody have any questions on getting started on this and what the requirements are? No? You guys are going to make this easy for me? Good. So what we're going to do is actually start teaching our dogs to actually take money. Alright? Ember? I'll take Ember now. And I'm sure Teresa's very happy with that. Look out. Em. Thank you. Alright? When we do this, guys, we can just use pieces of papers just to kind of get our dogs started. I will actually be using dollar bills at one point in time, but I'm not going to start with dollar bills. This little envelope here is kind of real similar in the shape, but the first part that I really want my dog to do, Ember?
Down.
Ember has too many friends in class
Down.
today. I'm actually going to show it to her. Now Ember kind of knows to take it, I'm going to start with, she doesn't really know how to actually physically take something out of her hand, especially paper. I've never tried doing this with paper. Remember? So there she mouthed it a little bit. I don't know if you could see that. So I'm clicking just for that mouthing portion. Yes, I know I got food in my hand. Take it. Come on, get it. Yes. So, okay, what I'm doing is I'm trying to encourage her to actually put her mouth on this piece of paper. All right? I'm not saying a lot. I may try to actually encourage her by saying take it, because she does know take it a little bit, but she's never done it with paper. It's always been with toys. Take it. Oh. There I actually should not. I didn't actually want to click. I clicked wrong. Sit. Sit. Okay, down. Take it. Yes. All right, you see what I'm doing there? I am just starting to get her to actually mouth it. And I'm missing it a little bit because she's so fast. I actually want her to put it in her mouth. Take it. Take it. And that time she actually held it for a second. All right, you see how I'm just on that slow process of actually just getting her to start to take that object in her mouth. All right, because again, at some point in time, I'm going to actually want to give her a piece of paper, a billfold, a trifold, and actually send her out with that piece of paper or that business card that you were talking about. And we can actually send that out, and she would actually deliver that. All right, does anybody have any questions on that little bit of shaping part of it and actually taking it? So what we're going to do, again, because I'm filming this for an evaluator status, that's one of the parts. I'm actually going to show you guys another piece of it, and then we'll actually practice these two. Now with Ember, she likes to fetch. Oops. So we have just chair over there. Actually, you want to take this one in the corner? You can stop filming for a second. Alright guys, so again, what we're going to be doing is, the next part is we actually need our dogs to be able to go out, to fetch and retrieve. But part of it is, again, we want them to be able to get something and bring it back to us. Does everybody's dog in here, can they fetch? Yes? So? How about Molly?
Yeah, she can fetch.
Okay. How about, ever done it with Max?
He doesn't like to break back.
Oh, that's so the way this starts, I personally believe in teaching retrieve, one of the biggest mistakes people make, Amber, stay here, is they try to throw the thing too far to start with. And what I mean by that, they're out in the backyard, they're somewhere, they've got the fetch it ball thing or whatever it is, and they send it out 100 feet. And then they expect their dog to bring it back. I think that's where a lot of times where people make mistakes. When we start this and you start working with your dog, you may, literally, if I throw this and she just sniffs it, I may actually click and treat for that. Just for the fact that she went to it. Okay? Then I may click and treat just because of the fact that she might pick it up. Or mouth it. Maybe she'll just mouth it. Okay? Then I'm going to start to wait. She puts it in her mouth. Now I'm not going to click until she starts to walk towards me. And then I'm going to click and treat. And then she'll finally get it to me. I don't care if she drops it in front of me, I'll click and treat. Then we'll slowly work to the point where that thing, whatever she gets, is now going to have to go inside the bowl. Okay? So the first part of this, Ember loves to retrieve. She loves to chase balls. So I'm just going to show her the paper. Em, get it. Oh, get it. No. Now I should have clicked and treated for that. Again, I'm off a little bit on this one. Get it. Okay, now this is, she's probably dropping it because this is a funny piece of paper. Again, even though Ember is unbelievable, I've never worn her out in a game of ball, a fetch, frisbee, any of that. This is now this weird texture in her mouth. And what have we been doing throughout our dogs' lives? They pick up a piece of paper, we yell at them. Alright, so what are we doing? Now we're teaching them to actually pick up that object we've been yelling at them for a long time. So Ember.
I've never yelled at Bailey.
Good girl. So now she's actually picking it up. She kind of knows what I want. And she's starting to bring it back to me. Alright? Amber. Now again, these are just the simple steps, guys. It's not the final goal. Yeah. Get a paper. No paper. We'll get that out of the way. Get it? Yes. Now Ember also does know how to actually hand me something. So she knows how to bend, she's getting better with the paper. So my next step is I'm going to want her to actually start handing it to me or getting it close to the bowl. In this case, I'm just going to ask her to bring it to me. Yes. Okay. Yes. So now you see how I'm making the steps harder and harder each time. That first time is like, okay, just to get it and pick it up. Then she picked it up and she dropped it, and now I wanted to wait until it got into my hand. Okay? Our next step with this, I'm going to change my paper. And again, with Ember, she knows some of this, guys. I've never actually taught her this badge. It may take a while. Could take a couple hours, could take a couple days, could take a couple weeks, depending on your dog's level. And that's okay. Don't get frustrated if it's going slow. But my next step, and I actually have a small bowl. I'm not going to lie to you, when I first started teaching Jake this, I used a big bowl. All right? Because again, I want to make it easy for the dog. In this case, this is going to be a little bit harder. Because now I actually want her to drop it into this bowl. Let me get it. Drop it. Get it. Get it. And I may be pushing my limits a little bit, because what did I just say? It's take a little while, and here I'm trying to give me a finished product in a matter of minutes. And you saw that paper rip. That's why we don't want to use real money. Get it?
But it's crinkled just to get them used to be.
Just because it's easier for them to pick up. And I probably shouldn't be using a food bowl because she just wants to sniff the food bowl. And so in this case, what I may want to slow down with is I may be pushing this too fast for my dog. Okay? And so I may need to slow down and just start clicking. Oh. Ready? Get it. And it was close to the bowl, but it wasn't in. And I'm not going to, like I say, I'm pushing this because I'm going to the filming part of it. But I would have to do this slower. So does anybody have any questions on that first part? So when you guys start practicing now, all I would really like to see you guys really practice with is taking a piece of paper, throwing it a few inches out in front of you, just getting your dog to pick it up. Even if they just pick it up and click. If they go and sniff it, it's because they won't pick it up. You can click and treat. All right, and slowly start to work towards that process, and then we'll start working towards getting them into that bowl part. Any questions before we get started? Okay,